Head coach McDermott.
Certainly a step in the right direction. After giving up baskets in the first 4 possessions, I thought we settled in a little bit better defensively and played a little bit more like we're capable of. Dominated the glass, and I thought our efficiency taking care of the basketball was good the first half, not as good the second. So I thought we tried to hit some home runs in the second half with some of our passes, and we got to clean some of that up. But I think our speed and transition was on display. Obviously, Jamiya and Pop can really get out and run with that rotation at the 4. We're pretty much able to keep a fresh body out there all the time. So those guys should be be moving down the floor. And then, Kalk puts his pressure on the rim or sets that late drag and transition, which creates a lot of things. And Steven really looked up the floor well and, was able to hit some guys on the move and in stride to make plays. So a little bit better than the other day, and that's what it's about this time of year. It's just trying to get a little bit better as we move day to day.
Two questions for the student athletes.
Steven, it seemed like through the first 2 games that you've been maybe more in control, more commanding of the offense than at points last year. Do you feel more comfortable just with entering year 2 in the program?
Yeah, I think that, towards the latter part of last season, I felt like I really started hitting a stride and getting comfortable with just the offensive principles that we have. And I think that a full off season working out with Mitch Balick, I said that last name wrong, but Mitch, and just being around the guys, I feel like we're in a really good place with just continuity and flow to our offense, which has been a lot of fun.
Steven, how much did having Pop there add to it and what the offense was able to achieve today?
Yeah, Pop's a fantastic player, a really fun backcourt mate, and he opens up the offense in a way for us in transition and then also in the half court that just relieves the burden of handling the ball so much, and then even starting the offense, he can do that for us as well. And so I think he adds another element to our offense that really showcased tonight in our ability to get out and run and then just execute at a high level offensively.
Jamiya, all 13 of your points basically came off of fast breaks there. How big of a weapon do you think you can be for this team, pushing the pace like that?
Yeah, I think that's where I thrive the most at. I like to play in that type of situation, so as much as possible, if I can get in those type of situations, I want to get that. I think I could be really good for us this year in those type of situations.
Jamiya, just what's the adjustment been like getting into this system and learning about Creighton basketball and trying to fine-tune your skills to that?
It's a lot, and I'm still adjusting now. I'm just trying to take it day by day and keep getting better. Obviously, I got Coach McDermott to help me and the coaching staff, and obviously players like Steven and Kalk, who've been here for a while, who are fantastic leaders and just great people. So it's been good. It's been an adjustment. I'm not going to say it's been easy, but it's a working process, and I'm happy to be here.
Each of you guys might have a different answer, but it was tied 24-24, and you outscored them 20. I think you went on a 13-0 run and then outscored them 26-8 the rest of the first half. What changed when I think around the 8-minute mark of the first half? What allowed you guys to do that?
I can go and then give it to Jamiya. Ultimately, we got stops. I think that's what it came down to, is we were able to get stops, which frees up guys like Jamiya to really get out and run. He's such a threat in transition, and it's super fun as a point guard to be able to kick it ahead to somebody like that and kind of tally a bucket for us. And so stops is the biggest thing. I think that if we can string together a few stops in a row, it really puts pressure on the other team's defense to get back in transition and guard us.
Yeah, I can't say it no better than Steven. We knew they weren't that good in transition, so just getting stops and getting out, that was just the game plan.
Jamiya, is that how you feel like you can be most effective in this offense, is when you're taking it to the basket with aggression and running with pace?
Yes, for sure. I think doing that and also just getting downhill and finding my shooters too. So just putting pressure on the defense for myself and for my teammates, I think that's where I'll be most effective.
Anything else for the guys?
Yes, Steven, you said the defense sparked that run late in the first half, but what was your assessment of the defensive play overall today?
Overall, I think it was better. I think that the past few practices really focusing on affecting the ball handler, having more aggression with our hands on defense, and then just having a little bit more toughness. And I think that message rang through the locker room, and we were able to display that at times. And then just looking forward to getting in the film room tomorrow again and learning from this one and just trying to keep getting better because it's a long season, obviously. But we got the guys that can really accomplish great things, so I'm excited for it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Mike.
Make sure you roll that deal over there.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Shot 5.
All right, we'll continue with questions for Coach.
Mac, you said Wednesday that you were a bit disappointed in your guys' defense of the exhibitions, and then Wednesday, obviously. How much do you feel like you guys grew on that end? I know it's only a 1 game difference.
It was better. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect this time of year, especially as you're trying to integrate as many people, new people, and then people in new positions from what they played last year. So it's going to be a work in progress, and as Steven said, I think they understood the message that we had this week in practice, and we were able to execute some of that stuff a little bit better, and didn't make the mistakes out front, and kind of let call clean it up in the back without fouling people, and we wanted to get we knew that Jones could really shoot it. I thought he had a couple that were on broken plays that he hit, but I thought for the most part we made his looks difficult, and we weren't able to do that on Wednesday.
What role does Ryan play in your transition offense, and how rare is it for a guy like him, 7-footer, to beat guys so consistently down the floor?
No, I mean, he plays a big role because you have to account for him. And, I talked to him midway through the first half about running to the rim a little bit more. He likes to set those drag screens, which are so effective, and then he can dive to the rim after that. But if he can get to the rim while we're still in the early parts of our primary break, you can't account for him with just one guy. Somebody has to help, and now the dominoes start to fall, and you're able to get them into rotations and create good opportunities. And we had a lot of open looks from 3 tonight we didn't make, but we had, Isaac got 5 open looks. I thought Pop's looks were really good. Mason had a couple open looks, so the right guys were shooting it. We just didn't knock as many down tonight.
Was that kind of you touched on it right there? Was that the thing with Pop? He got good looks, just didn't hit them.
Yeah, I mean, he's practiced 2 out of the last 10 or 12 days, so his timing and rhythm's not going to be great. But it was good to have him out there, and hopefully work some of those kinks out while continuing to feel a little bit better.
Mac, what are the challenges of having so many possible rotations?
It's challenging, especially that 4 spot, because excuse me, all 3 guys deserve to play, and there's not enough minutes to go around right now. So we're gonna have to figure that out. It might be a game by game thing. The good news is that they've all been really supportive of each other. They really pushed each other, and they bring different things to the table. So it might be what you need on that particular night, whether it's spacing or if it's defense or rebounding. It might be a different guy, but it's challenging. Last year I didn't think much about substitutions. You try to give Kalk a break once in a while, and you knew Bella was going to be the first guy off the bench for whichever guy needed a break. So the less I have to think, the better off I am. Right now I have to think a little bit more.
From your view, what changed midway through the first half when you guys started distributing?
Then we ran some stops together. I mean, when we run stops together, like I've said, while we're not as long as we've been in the past, we're faster, and you see that speed in transition, able to attack quick, and you've got a willing passer in Steven, and Pop made some great passes in transition as well. So when we can do that, I think you can wear into a team relatively quick, but you've got to get stops first, and that was better midway through the first half.
Matt, a couple weeks back, I think you said Jamiya's been so focused on one side of the ball that he's been kind of struggling to piece it all together. Was what you saw this afternoon kind of how you're envisioning his role in this team?
Yeah, I wish I still think he's turning some shots down that he needs to shoot, or he's got to make a quicker decision, whether it's either shoot it, pass it, or rip it and go to the rim. And sometimes he's catching it and holding it and letting the defense kind of reset. And that's just a sign of a guy trying to find his way in our offense. And, we'll continue to work on it and continue to watch film with him. But defensively, I really like what he did tonight. He's got the ability to be very active and very disruptive on the defensive end of the floor. And I thought he was able to execute that this afternoon.
Like you guys played 2 top 15 teams in preseason exhibitions, and then it was close a lot of Wednesday. Was it almost a sigh of relief to have a game where you didn't have to play the starters?
It was, yeah, I mean, it's nice to get some guys out there, you know, they need extended minutes, to, you know, develop a rhythm and a flow and have more film for us to watch with them so they can learn and grow. You know, we weren't able to do that as much, on Wednesday because the game got close in the end, so. Yeah, I like the start of the second half. You know, it's whatever it was, a 14-point game, 16-point game at halftime. We were able to, you know, take it to 22 or 23 and force the timeout right away. And that's how you want to come out of the locker room in a situation like that. So we're able to get guys minutes, and the starters did some really good things, but it was also really good to get a lot of people in the game.
And Sterling and Shane are 2 of those guys, got out there for some good minutes. Coming off the redshirt, kind of what role do those guys play in this team? What do they provide?
Yeah, they have to stay ready. You know, I think Shane has the ability to be one of the best defenders on this team. You saw his grit on the glass. You know, he gets 4 rebounds in 8 minutes, a couple offensive rebounds, sticking his nose in there. And then Sterling's just continued to get better. You know, his mid-range game's really good. Defensively, he's improved. You know, he's not far away. He's just got to keep working. But you know, they definitely benefited from the red shirt. You know, their bodies are better, their understanding of the game, and it's slowed down for them. So it was a wise decision last year to redshirt both those guys.
You said Friday was going to be a pretty spirited practice, and it sounds like that message you got through to ramp it up defensively. What does one of those practices look like, and how do you try to get that messaging through?
Yeah, I mean, they knew. I mean, you know, when you watch the film, you know, I had enough clips of things that went wrong in that game that we watched at the start of practice, before we started practice Friday. So, you know, they were well aware, and I think, you know, they're out there on the floor. They know in the game where they're falling short. So it has to be collective. You know, there's defenses, you know, you're only as good as your weakest link. And if there's a breakdown in communication or positioning, you know, it impacts all 5 of us. And we have to understand that. And sometimes when you have a breakdown, some ball pressure or active hands can save the day for you until your teammate can recover. And we weren't very active. We were trying to get to the right spots, but our activity level wasn't where it needed to be, and it was a little bit better today.
Go ahead. What'd you think of Ryan's the jab step 3? I don't think I'd seen one of those before.
Yeah, no, and he probably won't see one again.
Fade away.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was has Ty established himself as the backup point guard?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, again, it's going to be, you know, we can use Pop there some, and there's times where Ty's skill set fits, and there's times where Shane's skill set fits, and that's kind of beauty of this team, is that there's some options for us depending on what we need. So they're both getting reps in practice. They're both playing halftime on the scout team, and halftime getting reps with the top team. So that's going to be beneficial for them, you know, whether they're playing a bunch of minutes or not.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Anybody need a book?